Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I want to talk about the upcoming games that we are about to start getting over the next few months. Um, it's been it's been a pretty decent drought for the first time in a long time this last 6 months or so, especially with the new console generation coming out. It's been pretty tough. Just really hasn't been a whole lot of new games coming out. Definitely not a lot of AAA games. So yeah, I'm excited. Now that we've reached a point where we basically have something coming out every week. This week we got Resident Evil Village. The week before that we got Pokemon Snap 2 and Returnal. Next week we get the Mass Effect Trilogy Legendary Edition, which is going to be pretty cool because I've never played any of those three. I've only played Andromeda, so I'm definitely looking forward to that next week. The following week after that we have Biomutant, which I'm still kind of on the fence on if I'm going to get that and review it or not. Probably will. Yeah, I mean I'll definitely know more closer to, and I'll put out like a tweet on Twitter, if I'm gonna pick that up and review it or not. And then we also have next week we have the Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the first major DLC for that, the Druids one. So that's gonna be kind of cool. I'm gonna pick that up and review that. We have, and then starting in June we've got Ratchet and Clank. Basically right out of the gate. That's definitely going to be one that I review. I mean, I'm going to buy that game simply because I want to see the visuals of it and see how wonderful it looks. I usually support Insomniac. I mean, even though I am getting kind of old to be playing Ratchet and Clank games, I will probably pick that up to review it. And then we'll have Chivalry 2, which is going to be an amazing game. We have the Metro Exodus next gen enhancement coming. I think that we're going to probably get an enhanced version of Wreckfest on the Xbox Series X sometime in June too, possibly. I don't know if that's been confirmed for Xbox or not. In June, I know it's been confirmed for PlayStation 5. I mean, we're already playing the PlayStation 5 version, but it comes out for everybody else to buy on the 7th. Uh, and then E3, we'll have E3 sometime in the beginning of June, the 12th through the 14th or whatever, and we're definitely going to learn a lot more about what Microsoft has, and I'm thinking Sony's going to do something around that time too to show us what they've got lined up for the second half of the year. My personal thoughts is we are going to get Horizon Forbidden West and God of War this year. And now let me tell you why. The reason why I think we're going to definitely be getting both of those games is because they are going to be cross-gen. We already know for sure Horizon Zero Dawn is. But I believe God of War Ragnarok is also going to be cross-gen. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, it's definitely, I don't think it's necessarily going to hold them back. I mean, we're going to get our fast loading times. We're going to get better visuals. We're going to get everything that we would get on the PlayStation 5 version, but they are going to make these games for the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 4 Pro. They have to do it this year, though. They can't. My thought is they've been working on these games since the PS4 and PS4 Pro were still out, so they're definitely going to be cross-gen, and that makes sense because we definitely want Guerrilla Games and Sony Santa Monica working on next-gen titles after this. So my thought is they want to get them out right now this year. I mean, they're probably pushing really hard to make sure that that's possible. If not, God of War's probably going to be early 2022. But I'm pretty sure they want to get those out for the holiday season. I'm thinking that Horizon Zero Dawn is probably going to launch sometime in August. And then we will get God of War either November or December of this year, and then from then forward, Guerrilla Games and Sony Santa Monica are going to be next gen PS5 only games. After that point, I'm pretty sure Gran Turismo 7 is going to be an early next year launch. I was really hoping that would come out this year. It was slated to be this year, and I was extremely excited about that because I want to see Polyphony Digital's next entry, especially with the amount of power the PS5 has. I'm expecting that game to be beautiful. So yeah, my thoughts on God of War and Horizon Zero Dawn coming this year, I think are pretty solid. I think that's definitely going to happen. They are definitely going to be cross-gen games. Microsoft, on the other hand, I know we're going to get Halo Infinite, that's for sure, and that game is going to be amazing. Me personally, everybody was complaining about that, but I already thought it looked good for what I saw on the. I mean, that thing looked clean. It looked crisp. It looked sharp. It looked good. I mean, yeah, the hair or whatever could definitely have been upgraded. All Microsoft really had to say was, "Hey, this is the Xbox One X version," and everybody would have been like, "Oh yeah, that's great." Everybody would have been happy. But obviously they're not shady. They're not being shady with it. They're actually, putting in some more work, and that's cool. I'm definitely happy with that because it's going to look good. I think we're going to find out more about Hellblade 2, Senua's Sacrifice. I know that, or Senua's Saga, they've definitely been working on that game since the last one, and I think that one's, I hear a lot of talk, like 2022, 2023, and other videos and stuff, but guys, I really think a lot of these games are coming out sooner than a lot of people think. I think that Microsoft is just trying to get their feet under them so that they can start producing games. Do I think we're going to get Starfield this year? No, I don't. I don't think Starfield's going to be ready. I think that's going to be next year, if anything. I think they're gonna take their time with that one and put as much distance between the Microsoft merger and the announcement of that game so that when it does come directly to Xbox as an exclusive, there's not as much bad blood. Because if it comes out this year as an exclusive to Microsoft, I think that would look bad on Bethesda just because this thing was announced before the merger was ever announced. So I think that would be kind of not cool to get Sony guy hopes up. But I mean, I'm perfectly okay with it being 100%. Like every single game that comes out of Bethesda now should only go to Microsoft platforms. They own them. There's no reason for them to put them on the PlayStation or any other system for that fact. I think they should be. Bethesda makes sense for Xbox for them to be an Xbox studio. That makes sense. They've always done their best work with Xbox. They've probably sold a lot more copies on PlayStation. I wouldn't be surprised to see like an EA merger with Xbox, to tell you the truth. That would be my next big bet. I mean, EA merge with Xbox. Like I could see that, eventually happening. I don't think anything. I mean, they might possibly buy Sega, but like right now, I'm happy with the support we're getting from Sega. We got the new chapter of Judgment coming out, Last Judgment for Xbox and PlayStation on the same day. That is definitely making some progress because normally some of those games like Yakuza and stuff never even tried to launch on Xbox, but Phil Spencer's really putting in the work to get us these games, and that's amazing to think, because I mean, when I play games like Yakuza or Judgment, it takes me back to that Shenmue feeling I used to get when I first got my Dreamcast, and that was one of the first games I got for it. I freaking loved that game. I loved the slow pace of that, and I loved it. But for some reason I can't get into Shenmue 3. I have not. I'll tell you why I can't get into Shenmue 3. I don't like the fact that it's 1080p. I was hoping that that game would get PS4 Pro support. I mean, now it runs at a rock solid 60 on my PS5, but man, I'm still just wishing that they would. But I don't think, I haven't heard nothing about it since it came out, so I doubt anything more is going to come of that. Um, I do think we are going to get Forza Horizon 5 this year, and if the rumor about it being in Mexico is correct, that is going to be amazing. There are Mexico is a beautiful place, and it is going to look. Oh my gosh, I'm pretty super. I'm super excited about that. I mean, Southern America or South America, anywhere in South America, to have that game is going to be pretty freaking sweet. Yeah, that's going to be good. I do believe that we are going to get that. I do believe that it is going to be cross-gen. And I do believe that we might actually get. I think we will get something Bethesda this year for. I know we're going to get at least 2 for PlayStation from Bethesda, but I'm pretty sure there might be at least 1, maybe 2 for the Xbox Series X. And I mean, we're getting to that point of the year now to where a lot of these games that said they were going to have next gen support are going to start dropping their patches for them. Pretty soon we're going to get our Cyberpunk 2077 patch. We're going to get there's a few more. I'm pretty sure there's a few more games that we're going to get that treatment. I know I'm pretty sure The Last of Us 2 is going to get it's going to be getting a patch here. We're going to hear about that. We're going to be getting that Grand Theft Auto patch probably here in the next month or two. I really hope it's coming to Xbox on the same day it comes to PlayStation as well. That'd be very disappointing if that doesn't happen. But I mean, I'm pretty sure PlayStation has some kind of deal with them. So, but they might be coming out on the same day. It's just PlayStation gets the marketing rights, like a lot of things, and we all know when that happens, they don't really ever talk about the other console as much. But I don't know. I kind of hope we do, because I do want to see that. I do want to see that upgrade. I want to see how good it's going to be. I know that they're already beating a dead horse with that. I really would like to see a Red Dead Redemption 2 patch come to the Series X, in PlayStation 5. Even if that's just a complete new version. I mean, I really don't want to have to pay for that again, but I guess it depends. If they did like a $40 price tag, that probably wouldn't, I don't know. I don't want to give them any ideas. I don't think they should charge us for those. For the Grand Theft Auto one, yeah, it is what it is. If they charge us again, whatever. People are going to buy it. That's just, people like that game, and the next game's probably a couple more years out still. It takes those guys a long time to put games together now. Granted, they do make some amazing looking games, so yeah, it's okay if they do that. Probably got the Witcher 3 next gen update coming out soon, which is gonna be great. I mean, we're getting a lot of content here, and it's gonna start dropping pretty regularly. So I'm pretty excited about that. I've been pretty I've had a lot of anxiety lately about new games not coming out and stuff. So I mean, it's been it's been rough, but now I think that drought's over, or at least letting up a little bit, and we're going to start getting flooded with games again like we used to. And then I probably won't have time to continue doing a YouTube video all the time, like every day for you guys. I want to be able to get at least one video out a day, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep up with that if we get a lot of games. Probably going to be stuck playing them and trying to review them. Yeah, I wish I knew more of what was coming out. I'm pretty sure that Elden Ring's not coming out till next year, which probably isn't a bad thing. The more content we got, coming out and coming up is pretty good. I think we're going to get from Ubisoft. We're definitely going to get Far Cry 6. We're definitely going to get Riders Republic. I wouldn't mind having another Assassin's Creed game this year, but we might not get one till next year. And if they do put one out this year, I really hope it's either a remake of the first game or a game that is more in line with how the first game was made. Just that kind of setup. I feel like if they dropped one of those every other year and one of their big open world ones, then it would definitely be better for the fans that really like Assassin's Creed, because I really like I literally I looked forward to a new Assassin's Creed game every year. Like, I love those games, and I hope they continue for a very long time, because I enjoy historical um, that historical setting that those games bring. I really I think we might get another update on Skull and Bones. We'll probably maybe get an update on the that other game that they that they haven't said anything about. Well, gosh, what was the name of that? Yeah, I don't remember the name right off my top of my head, because they haven't said anything about it for a while. But it was that Beyond Good and Evil, the new Beyond Good and Evil. We might get another update on that. We might get an update on um, some of the other stuff. I I don't know. I think for PlayStation and Xbox first party, I think we're gonna minimum get at least two more games from each console. I'm really shooting for Halo Infinite and Forza Horizon 5 for the Xbox. Oh, we're getting Flight Simulator next month too. So, there's got to be more in the works for this, because I know they've had games in development, like all of them have, and they haven't announced them. And I can see with the pushback of Halo Infinite, all the way another year, like why they would want to keep tight-lipped about a lot of stuff, going forward until it's a lot closer to being ready to release, until they're, into the stages of having to polish and stuff like that, because they don't want anything else to be pushed back. But I don't see a game like Forza Horizon 5 needing to be pushed back. I don't see Halo Infinite needing to be pushed back again. I think I'm pretty sure Hellblades had enough development to where they could show us gameplay now. I really hope that we get gameplay with an early next year release on that game for sure. Probably February, maybe. Maybe it needs a little more time to bake. Maybe holiday next year. That would be okay for that one too. But I do think that Microsoft needs to crank out some more first party stuff, and it needs to be quality this generation. They've got more than enough power in that Xbox Series X to take up the slack and to like really start producing some really good stuff. Because we basically still haven't seen anything using Fidelity FX, because to my knowledge it hasn't been released yet. But they did just launch a bunch of those AMD features, that tool set, in open source. So hopefully we start seeing the benefits of that, really soon. This generation has started off slow, and that is probably why I've had a lot of anxiety about the PlayStation 5 and the Series X. But I'm going to be honest with you. After completing Resident Evil Village yesterday, like, my worries are gone. Like, I have no doubt that this generation is going to look better than it's ever looked before, and we are going to see. I think we're going to start seeing 60 frames a second as the new norm. I really think that's going to be the new norm going forward. We're going to start seeing a lot more 60 frame a second games, and a lot of 120 frames a second. Like, these consoles are pretty powerful for what we've got. We've never seen anything like this. Even Series S is going to be punching above its weight once all of those features are usable. That, the Fidelity FX, the Direct ML, the refresh. The variable refresh is already amazing. And you're going to have the mesh shaders and what's that, VRR, the not variable refresh, but the variable rate shading, or variable, yeah, the VRS. Oh, variable rate shading, where it shades things as the closer they get to the camera and stuff. That is going to be amazing and save so much resources. Like, this generation's going to look good. All the complaining that I've been doing about the PlayStation 5 is simply, is simply, me just complaining about it. I mean, all generations come out with games that don't look that great. I mean, you look back on the games that came out with the PS4 and the Xbox One, and like, they look I mean, they don't look ancient, but they look, they don't look anywhere near what stuff. And granted, we had a console refresh, in the middle. They don't look anything like what we saw at the end of the generation, and that is exciting. And I mean, this new generation, I got my Xbox Series X day one. Basically, I've been playing old games on it that whole time, and that hasn't bugged me, because a lot of them have gotten updated and they look a lot better. They run a lot better, everything like that. So I mean, I was content with that. Well, because it's been, it's been a pretty slow generation. Like the beginning of this, there's been not a lot of stuff coming out. But then fast forward to 2 months ago, when I got my PlayStation 5 and put in Miles Morales and Demon Souls. Those were the two first games that actually showed me, more of what we're going to get this generation. And I was a little salty at first, not being able to see that on my Xbox Series X, and then wondering, like, wow, gosh, is Xbox even going to have anything like this? And then MLB The Show came out and gave me that look of, like, the higher density visuals and stuff, and then Resident Evil Village. Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm blown away. Like, it looks amazing. So yeah, we're gonna start seeing that stuff coming out here shortly, and I'm happy with that. I'm content, and I'm really optimistic about this generation of video games. I think we're gonna see stuff that we didn't think was possible, and I think that I don't really think PlayStation really needs to refresh the PS5. I think it's definitely, once they start learning the techniques and all of that stuff, the checkerboard and the temporal injection and stuff like that, it's gonna look all right. It's gonna deliver an experience that we're, it's going to give us a good return on our money, I think. I feel like, Xbox definitely has the more power, but I feel like PS5 is definitely punching above its weight. And I'm okay with that. I really hope that neither of these guys do a console refresh this generation, because I really don't want to have to buy a PS5 Pro. I don't want to have to buy another Xbox, especially this early. I mean, if they wait until, like, maybe 4 years down the road, split the generation in half and launch an upgrade, then yeah, that's fine. I probably would buy them, because I'd want to see something a little better by then. But I mean, if they do that, I'm expecting, like, double the performance of what we got right now. 24 teraflops for Series XX, and 20 teraflops on a PS5. I would want at least double, and then double the RAM too. So up to 32 megabytes in both, or 32 gigabytes in both. But I don't know. I mean, we'll see how that goes. Well, if you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.